As we come on the air, part one of another round of debates in the Democratic race for president is still underway at this hour. Good evening to you, and thanks for watching WGXA News at 10. I'm Aaron Leedy. Round one began with 10 candidates battling for your vote to be the next president of the United States. Now, some of the biggest issues discussed tonight were the economy, health care, and of course, immigration. Karen Wgxa is live in Detroit, reporting for WGXA News. Karen, a lot to go over this evening. Good evening to you.
The 10 Democratic candidates competing tonight, they have been on the debate stage now for about 2 hours in the Fox Theater behind me, and tonight has been playing out a little bit differently than some anticipated. There was a lot of anticipation for the two top-tier progressives, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, to finally stand center stage side by side, and a lot of people were thinking that maybe, finally, they'd get to see a little daylight between the two candidates. Well, it's played out just a little bit differently. It hasn't been Sanders and Warren debating one another. It's been the moderates coming after Sanders and Warren and their progressive stances. Take a listen to this early exchange that happened pretty much right off the bat on the debate stage. Bernie Sanders asked about comments that former Congressman John Delaney had made about his Medicare for All plan, in which Delaney characterized it as political suicide. Sanders not only defended his plan, but Elizabeth Warren jumped in to help him.
Healthcare is a human right, not a privilege. I believe that. I will fight for that.
We can create a universal healthcare system to give everyone basic healthcare for free, and I have a proposal to do it. But we don't have to go around and be the party of subtraction and telling half the country who has private health insurance that their health insurance is illegal.
Let's be clear about this. We are the Democrats. We are not about trying to take away healthcare from anyone.
And that is how it has gone on for multiple exchanges this evening, not only on the topic of health care, but also on the moderate versus progressive approach to issues like border security. So really laying bare this debate within the Democratic Party. And now a lot of these moderate candidates standing on the stage tonight, they know this could be the last round for them. They lag Sanders and Warren in the polls, and they are trying to make their case forcefully, particularly in a state like Michigan, which the Democrats narrowly lost to Donald Trump in the 2016 presidential election. Also, some of these moderate candidates know that this may be their last go-round on the debate stage. The bar for entry in the next round of debates in September in Houston, it rises significantly for these candidates. And so far, among the candidates on the debate stage tonight, only Sanders, Buttigieg, Warren, and O'Rourke have met the new threshold. Still more to come from the Democratic candidates here tonight. Live in Detroit, I'm Karen Wgxa. Now back to you.
All right, Karen, thanks so much. I want to bring in now Philip Swicegood, managing editor for The Resurgent and someone who follows politics very closely. I want to start tonight with something that we were kind of talking about before the newscast, and that is the number of candidates. Is there a benefit to having this many people in the race this early?
I think the short answer is absolutely not. There are just way too many people on stage for tonight and tomorrow night. And one of the other issues is that you get multiple candidates running in the same lane. And so for tonight, if you watch the debate, you actually saw that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders were the two people at the very center of the stage. They both represent the progressive wing of the party, and so they're essentially splitting the vote right down the middle. Bernie Sanders has about 15%, and Elizabeth Warren has about 15%. Interestingly enough, Joe Biden, who is a much more moderate candidate, is leading at 33%. So if you combine those two candidates, if one of them drops out, they have a much better shot at taking on the front runner at that point.
Sure. Is there one candidate that is on the Conservative Party's radar, and is there one candidate that has a lot to lose in this race?
I think if you look at the debate tomorrow night, Joe Biden has the absolute most to lose. I mean, with 23 people in this race, Joe Biden is polling at about 33%, kind of like we were talking about. And after the last debate, Joe Biden did not really perform that well. He had a really, really rough debate. And his polling numbers right after that tipped off. They actually dropped off between 5 and 8 points, depending on the poll that you actually looked at. And so that was a really, really big drop. Now, Biden has pumped a ton of money into the actual campaign since then, and so his polling has picked back up, but Biden historically has not been solid in this election on debates, and so I think all of the pressure is on him tomorrow night to see how he performs, to see if he can pull out a solid debate performance and avoid another collapse.
Sure. Philip Swicegood, managing editor of The Surgeon. We appreciate your time, and we'll check back in with you coming up a little bit later. Now, earlier today, we spoke with Dr. Christopher Lawrence with Middle Georgia State University to get his take on the vast Democratic field and who has the most to lose in this race. Listen.
Probably at the moment, probably the candidate that has the most really to lose or to win here is Buttigieg. I think that he's kind of on the cusp of being a top-tier contender, and so he particularly needs to establish himself as being up there with Harris, with Warren, with Biden, with Sanders, because otherwise he's going to be sort of perceived once all the others are gone as kind of being at the kids' table.
And we'll continue to keep updates on the debate as it goes on tonight and inches closer to the 2020 presidential race on air and our website, wgxa.tv.